So Correspondence is a show about magic and shit. So the way it works, since this is a new show, I'll give you guys just a very gentle overview. Murph and I'm going to talk a little bit. I mean, obviously we haven't been doing that so far, so we really do need to get into it. And we'll have a conversation about like supernatural stuff and magic. So, we'll talk about it for a bit. And then we're at the end going to do a big tarot reading for Murph.
Exciting. I'm so excited for
It's actually going to be really cool. I guess we should begin at the beginning.
Okay.
Oh, actually, you know what I wanted to ask you before we begin at the beginning is I wanted to do this whole summoning circle thing because I thought it was very clever, very cute. And it was supposed to be happening at the beginning where I was like, ooh, if I was going to summon you to my show, what would I put in a circle for you? But I forgot. So now I'm asking you, what would I summon you with, do you think?
I think it's obvious that literally any photo of Jen would bring me right to you. I probably should say a photo of my child, but that's
your human child. I do think it's less creepy for it to be a Korean man you've never met.
Listen, I'm already drawn to the rails here. Okay.
I assume you're with your kid and then I'm taking you away.
Yes. Yeah.
So
if you would like to summon me to you, BTS content of any kind, mostly Jen will get me right there.
BTS Happy Meal, photo of Jen.
Yeah, or pizza. I will come with
pizza. What's on the pizza?
If you're summoning me with pizza, I want like classic, like New York style margarita with ricotta and basil.
Classy, bitch as always.
No trashy pizza. That's for a different time when we're sad. Okay.
We'll just make the summoning circle out of the pizza. We'll just arrange all the timing and everything so it's got all the sigils and things. And then when you get summoned, you'll just be summoned in a giant pizza.
Yeah, I'll just be sitting on a nice warm pizza.
With a picture of Jen. Oh my God, arrange the toppings on the pizza to look like Jen you can eat.
My utopia.
Incredible. Big brain. I agree. Does Murph believe in me? We're going to find out, Ghost Potato. We are going to find out. Yeah, we do. We should maybe do a food video stream sometime.
Oh, down.
But today is not the day. I do agree, though. Food videos are very important. Very important science. Okay, so let's begin at the beginning. So do you come from like any spiritual background? Like, do you have anything going on in that department?
I do, but some of it is more like religious affiliated. So my dad's side of the family, I am Hispanic on one side of my family. We're Puerto Rican and we are very, very, very Catholic. And when I say we, I mean not me, bitch.
But
they are all very Catholic. Yeah, I kind of grew up in it and then very quickly was like, okay, I'm out on this one. But I do say that though because there definitely has been like some experiences that my grandmother had like when she was a lot younger. And I still, even though I'm not super religious, like she is the first person that I like go to if I feel like I need prayer or I need like, anything in that kind of realm. It's like I don't know my beliefs, but whatever is there, she is connected to it somehow. I truly believe.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of religion, right? It's just having a common language to speak to people with and like connect through. So I hear you for sure.
Yeah, she had a lot of like really interesting experiences when she was younger, like living in Puerto Rico. She like almost got abducted and she remembers like being like lifted and like taken away. Yeah, it was like a whole thing like to safety. Like it's a whole thing. She has many stories, this woman.
Oh my.
And so I think I grew up around that. So that was kind of Catholicism is kind of supernatural.
Catholicism has a lot of there's a lot of aesthetic, I feel like, to Catholicism, and a lot of it is sort of having these big experiences, these superhuman experiences. Yeah. And you can, miracles. I feel like miracles and shit. Yeah, absolutely. And communicating with saints, right? And
oh girl, she has a whole altar in her house with bones from saints from when she's gone to Jerusalem.
Yes. And, oh yeah.
So I definitely grew up around some of that, but it was not it was a different kind of spirituality. It wasn't necessarily like magic or occultism or anything like that. It was very, very, very Catholic.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. My dad is Dominican. And so he grew up extremely Catholic.
Yeah.
So he has a lot of Catholic you can really tell that he grew up very Catholic, but he's very much not Catholic. So like,
I feel that we have people like that too. I mean, I'm one of those people in my family. Like I grew up very strict Catholic. I went through the whole christening process and Wednesday school and Sunday school and, all of that. And then as I got older, I think I just kind of branched off from it. Whereas a lot of my other family are still very like
very into it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, interesting. Do you feel like that has informed like not just like your worldview overall, but like your view of like the supernatural and like magic and things like that?
Hi, Jab. Yeah, I think so. I think like it's funny because when I was growing up, we weren't allowed to do a lot of things because of Catholicism. I couldn't watch or read any Harry Potter because of witchcraft. I couldn't watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I couldn't really watch anything on Nickelodeon or Disney Channel for a long time. So they were very, very strict with things like that. And I think it got very like limited and pulled away from me. So as I got older, I think I kind of went more towards that stuff. Me and my sister kind of connected over Harry Potter at one point. We almost got tattoos together to kind of symbolize that. Yeah, but like, thank God I didn't do that.
Well,
but
things change. And sometimes they say the same.
But yeah, I think it definitely influenced me because it was so taboo. But then I was also watching people like speak in tongues and like pray to things that aren't there. And, so there's a big juxtaposition there.
Yeah. I think that's a really interesting tension in Catholicism, particularly, though there are some sort of Protestant sects that are a little bit more, the Anglicans and whatnot. But yeah, like so much ritual and like,
much ritual. Oh my gosh.
And like having
crazy prayers that you do like 3 times a day every day.
That's what I was going to say. Like lots of repetition, like specific like mass. Like it's like I remember the first time I went to Catholic church, I was so confused because I had been going to this like more evangelistic Protestant church. And so it was very much like a different sermon every day, like a different lesson. There was pizza and stuff. And like to go to a church where everything was the same and we were all doing the same motions. Everybody's sitting, they're standing, they're kneeling, they're moving. It's like,
very culty.
Wow. Like and to see like how strongly they reject other spiritual traditions. It's really interesting.
It's interesting. And I think I didn't really experience that until I married Weasels, who came from a family with no religious affiliation, as far as I know. I mean, I've never heard them really talk about anything, as far as that goes. I think he said he had been to church a few times when he was younger, just like so getting married to him and him getting to experience, Catholic weddings that we would go to and he's just kind of watching and I know everything to do. And out of respect for my family, I'll just kind of go along while I'm at church. I don't need to cause a scene. So, so I just kind of go along and afterwards he'll be like, how do you still remember all that? I'm like, oh, honey.
Oh, girl.
Oh, baby.
I've been
every
doing
single Sunday for 20 years of my life. Yeah. So, and Wednesdays too. So I remember it's there. It's burned in.
I went to church for a while every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
And every single time we would do hymns and then we would stand up and we would shake hands with everybody, which is a very like Southern Bastard sort of moment. And so I remember when I went to the Catholic church the first time, there was this like moment where I was like, so when does the hellos happen? Like when do I tell all these people hi? And when
we have a single moment of peace be with you, like at the end of sermon almost.
And it's like, that's it. And everybody's just kind of doing it all like, okay,
nodding
transaction over. Okay. I've received my God for this Sunday and I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting environment. So I definitely think that kind of did the opposite of what they wanted it to, because I kind of got very into spooky and paranormal, supernatural stuff at a younger age, I think, because I was pushed away from it, honestly.
Yeah. No, I think for a lot of people that's very relatable. And I think especially for people who are into like, I think for a lot of people, Wicca and spiritualism is a way to shift from a very like collectivist mindset to a sort of like taking your power back individualist sort of idea.
More open-minded, freeing kind of feeling with spirituality.
While still being able to sort of connect with something bigger than yourself and have a community to talk to,
Yeah, for sure.
Let's have a look at chat because a couple of people are sharing their experiences. I think they're interesting.
Oh yeah.
I remember going to Christmas mass at a Catholic church one year, and I could definitely feel some sort of energy there. Catholic churches are the vibiest place on the planet.
Yeah,
probably.
they really are. You can feel it when you feel like you're being watched immediately when you walk in. You're like, okay, yeah. There's a presence. For sure.
Lots of candles, sometimes incense, and especially some of these really old churches, they're huge on the inside.
Yeah.
The ceilings just go on forever and forever. It's nuts in there.
Yeah, I lived in a really tiny Catholic town for a few years when I was like between 8 and 12-ish. And everybody in the town went to the same huge Catholic church. I mean, it was giant. It was like everything was literally on one street, essentially, like one main highway. And the whole town would go there. So you'd literally see everybody you went to school with every Sunday, every Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. They're huge. They're huge. They're massive.
Yeah. And I mean, that's part of why I think a lot of people stick with it too, is because it's just, that's where everybody's
It's
at.
almost theatrical. Yeah. It pulls you in.
Absolutely. Loon Siren says, Mexican here. My fam is very Catholic and we have a small altar for my deceased dad. My mom and family hate it because they feel like me and my bro are praying to him like a god, when really I think it's just him being with us still. I had a very interesting experience with one of my ex-boyfriends. His dad was, he was sort of in the group of people who feel like praying to saints and stuff is sort of its own false idol situation. It's, I think, a little bit of an extreme position, but he was very much against this kind of thing. And he felt that way a lot. And he had a lot of strong feelings about Catholicism. I always found the perspective very strange, especially for loved ones, because it's like, isn't it something natural to want to have that kind of connection, you know?
Yeah. I punished myself in celebration. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. You're doing
great.
I
think so. I agree, though. I think there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it when it comes to just basic religion anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? Yeah, and for sure, just for clarification too, we don't want to get too into all of these.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Too many opinions and stuff. But it is interesting to hear that somebody had something to say about that. Like, oh, this makes me freaked out, you know?
Yeah. Sure.
As I got older, I pulled away from the church, but I know someone who is a preacher and asked for spiritual guidance and pray for things that are going on with me. Yeah, I think that's also a very common experience.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't remember what my denomination of church was, but I do remember falling asleep a lot.
Fair.
The preacher is possibly the creepiest man I've ever met in my life. I have met some of the most spooky pastors on earth, and I have met priests who were literally the nicest people I've ever talked to.
Yeah, I think it goes both ways, but when you meet one that's off, it's like really off.
It's real off. The juxtaposition is real.
Yeah, there's a huge gap there.
I agree.
From one to the other. Yeah.
We used to go to the Christian church that was an old orchestra hall, and it felt like 500 people.
Wow.
It could fit like 500 people. It was crazy. Yeah, the church that I spent 4 days a week at, it had a stadium.
Insane.
It was massive.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
There were 2 different chapels in that church and a gym.
Okay.
Yeah, it was what I would call affectionately a complex.
Yeah, it's a compound.
Yeah, they locked me in there once for an entire weekend. It was really fun.
Oh, anyway, we have talked about this?
We have talked about that. Moving on.
Oh my God.
Okay. So then I think the next thing I was going to ask is just a little bit more of a vague question about how you feel about supernatural things in general. And it seems like you feel like some connection to that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think I've always, even when I was younger, I definitely felt connected to it. After I moved in with my mom and I kind of moved away from, my mom's kind of non-denominational as well. She's religious to the point where she believes in God and she'll pray if something's going on, And so I think moving in with her, I felt a lot more free, and I did go through a real little spooky goth girl phase when I was younger, for sure.
I would never guess. I would never guess that.
Yeah,
from you.
I definitely was doing things that were not safe, like making Ouija boards with friends and not really understanding a lot of that. But I think as I got older, I definitely got into tarot a lot. I have quite a few decks personally. And that's kind of the way I felt most connected, I think, because it's
really?
it's easy for me to understand. I'm very visual and tactile. So tarot's always been very like point blank. Like if you ask a question, you're getting an answer. If you don't ask a question, you're typically getting an answer anyways, and you're gonna kind of see that. And so I think that's always kind of worked for me. And so I connected with that a lot, especially when I was pregnant with Bob. And by the way, I did not name my child Bob. Okay, it's a stream name. That's I'm sorry if your name's Bob. Fuck, but like I didn't name my kid Bob. Okay,
Robert. Robert's a human man name.
I don't know if I like that either.
Anyways, I mean, it's not about that, okay? Your name can be Robert, and you can be so valid for that and not be Murph's child.
We call him Bob because I don't know. I don't want my kid on the internet. So
that's so. Anyways, I think probably the most healthy thing.
100%. 100%. Although he is kind of obsessed with Mothmom.
With me? It's because I'm so famous and gorgeous. And also I think Broly is based.
Hilarious. He thinks you're hilarious. And he also loves that you always want to talk about JoJo. He gets so hyped.
I always do want to talk. I need to. Yeah. This is again unrelated, but I do think I'm gonna start having like a nerd quarantine stream once a month.
Hell yeah.
I just like comic books and things because I need to get it out of the rest of my streams.
Yes, that sounds amazing.
Auntie MrsMothmom.
But oh my god, seriously. But yeah, I think when I got pregnant with him, I started to get really spiritual because I started having like crazy dreams. Ooh. I started getting like a lot more lucid. Like I'm fully lucid when I dream now and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of that started when I was pregnant. I don't know what that was, but I've connected a lot more with it since then, for sure.
Do you feel like you get a lot of? Do you feel like you get messages in your dreams?
I kind of hate that because I do, but it usually is not like. Usually, if I see somebody that I'm familiar with or something along those lines, it doesn't end up super well.
Oh
yeah, there's been a few times in the last few years where somebody I haven't seen or talked to like in years will pop up in a dream, and then I'm like, oh, let me Facebook search for this person, and they're like in some serious situation.
Oh my goodness.
So that's happened to me a few times. But otherwise I feel like with dreams, like I'm just super lucid. I do feel like my brother passed away like almost 8 years ago. I see him every fucking night. Like I get annoyed at
every single night.
Every night. Every night I see him somewhere. Like I'll literally just be dreaming, doing my shit, and he's just like walking by, and I'm like, bitch, hello. Like hello. You don't have to spectate. Like hello.
Weirdly, I also have super lucid dreams. Like I lucid dream often, and I have dreams of people who are in my life pretty regularly. Yeah. And for almost everybody, I like talk to them. I interact with them. We're like doing something. I'm like investigating. Every time Buddy is in my dream, he's just invisible. I told him,
like, know he's there.
I'm like, oh yeah, and there's Buddy over there somewhere. I told him I think it's because I'm so used to seeing him that in my dream, I'm just like, I don't need to render that. It's over. He's there.
Weasels really doesn't ever pop up in my dreams. And I think it's kind of the same thing. Like I'm with him all the time. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm dreaming, I'm lucid and my brain's kind of like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And so I just kind of do other things for Weasels. But realistically, like I don't see a lot of, I'm the opposite of you. Like I don't see a lot of people that I interact with in real life. Pretty much for me, like when I'm lucid dreaming, like I am seeing all new places, and there are places that I see more than once. Like
that's interesting too.
Yeah, like I have a version of my high school where it always comes up, but it's not my fucking high school.
I have the same fucking thing. I used to live in a different like town. And so there's a version of that town that only exists inside my brain. Yeah. I know I'm in there. Yep. I know exactly where I am. And we'll go to specific places and I'll recognize it, but it's not the same.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's like I view this place as my high school. This is the high school I went to. I'll run into people I went to high school with because I'm in that environment. But then when I wake up, I'm like, bitch, that wasn't my, like, it's the same place I always go to, but that's not my school. Why do I always go there?
Yeah, no.
So I do have situations like that for sure. But people so much, I have to be somewhere related to something to see people that I'm familiar with. Otherwise, it's just fucking randos pretty much. And my brother. who's
And your
always
brother
there,
who's like in the
just
corner.
spectating. Like he thinks, yeah, like he finds it comical that I'm like, hey, I'd love to talk, and he's like, nah, bitch, I got places to be. I'm walking by,
Girl,
letting you know I'm here.
listen, I talked to you yesterday and I talked to you the
Seriously,
day
he's
before.
probably annoyed with me because I spend like 22 hours of my day just talking out loud to him. So he's probably like, please, I have other places to be.
So you're talking out loud to him all day, and then he
I
shows
do
up in
that
your
often.
dream and you're like, I need to go.
Yeah, pretty much. He'll just be like, hey, what's up? And then he's out. It's just kind of, I don't know. It is reassuring. It's kind of like, hey, I've been here all day. I'm in listening to you. So now do something else while you're dreaming.
I kind of
See
feel
you
like
later.
it's like, oh yeah, I FaceTimed you all day, but now you should go do
Yeah.
something else.
Please go find something else to do with your time. Like I'm
Aw.
literally. So I think that's been something that's been really interesting for me since he passed away, because I definitely had been lucid dreaming for a while, and I've lost other people in my life,
Oh
but
my.
he's just a constant that's always there. So that's something that's definitely been interesting for me.
He's got business.
He's got business. And honestly, I'm fine with it. I'm like, whatever. But yeah.
No, that is kind of interesting. And I feel like in a way it is sort of sweet. He's visiting you all the time.
I think so. It's very reassuring. It kind of helps me just be like, okay, I won't. There's like this thing when you lose somebody where you almost kind of forget what they look like or sound like after a certain period of time. And that's a really big fear of mine. So I think it's kind of like he's giving me that moment of like, here, you're not going to
Aw.
forget what I look like. Now I have places to be. Like that's how it feels for me sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine how it would be reassuring.
Mhm.
We have some more folks in chat. How do you guys feel about dream visions being from the future? I don't think it's from the future
I
necessarily.
don't know how I feel about future stuff.
Future stuff
feel
is
like maybe-
weird.
Yeah, I feel like maybe like warnings or like things like that might be possible. But I don't think I'm fully seeing things that are going to happen in the future or anything like that.
Not to get too philosophical about it, but I feel like everybody makes decisions all the time. And I really
It's
truly
true, things
believe
are
people
changing
can
so often.
Yeah. People can decide what they're going to do, right? So like even if you could get information about what was going to happen, who's to say what that even looks like, right? But he could ask you to fill this for me with some cold water. Thank you so much. I need a little bit chapped in the mouth.
Oh my God.
Streaming is hard work. What can I say?
Well, we also just don't shut up, either one of us.
Oh my God. I mean, it's our job. We have to be talking. Listen, what do they tell you? Twitch School 101. Don't shut up.
Yeah, just keep talking. Talk to a wall, bitch.
Talk to anything. And I'm good at
that. Talk to your NPCs in your game if you got nobody to talk
to. Boundary says, I've had that. Always completely useless stuff like when... Oh, hold on. Hold on. What is going on with chat? Stuff like when I was a kid, I dreamt a teacher was sending me to take someone to another class and I had no clue where to go, and happened like a year later and didn't do anything for me.
Oh my God.
That's pretty relatable. I struggle to connect with my religion, not for lack of trying, but it always ends up seeming so on to me. I try to be respectful of others' beliefs, but I understand how it helps people, especially with mental health and stuff. Yeah, I think community can be really important.
I think so.
But also like, sometimes I mean, I really wanted to, how do I put this? I really wanted to feel, I reset myself. You guys, VNAN is a hell of a drug. I'll tell you what. I love you, Suvi. You're a genius.
We love you very fucking much.
We love you
honestly.
actually so much. Okay.
Man, we just want to look straight.
I think I got it. But yeah, I think after a while of going to this church for a very long time and having a lot of people who wanted me to fit in, right? I don't think anybody was trying to make me think a certain way necessarily, but I think a lot of people wanted me to be part of what they perceived as their family, right? And it just I just could never make it happen.
Yeah, it just didn't happen. And that's okay. I mean, that's fine. I think that the sense of community is important for a lot of people. And I think that, like Boundary said, I think there's a lot of people that need something to help them guide themselves through life and not be a total shitty person. And that's great. Other people use it for different reasons, and we won't get into that. But I do think it is important that we do have things like structured religion in many different ways, so that people can find some way to kind of help guide them if they don't have that, naturally.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people gravitate to, like we were saying earlier too, like a lot of people gravitate to spiritual sort of feelings and ideas, and just leaving them high and dry with nothing is not the solution.
Yeah,
I
for
think,
sure.
again, not to get super philosophical about the whole thing, but I think a big part of it is just informed consent. Like
Yeah.
knowing where your community contributions are going, and knowing
Oh, yeah, for
what
sure.
the people in the higher levels of the structure are about, and what they really think and what they're trying to accomplish. I think that that's a big part of it. And I think, I think that sometimes people's frustration with, like, quote unquote organized religion comes from a place of like, y'all lying.
Yeah.
Is that too strong?
No, I don't think so at all. No, I don't think so at all. I completely agree with you.
And there you
There's a
have
lot
it.
of layers. There's
There
a lot
are
of layers
so
to
many
it.
layers. Yeah.
It's the biggest onion you could ever think of.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I feel that way sometimes too about the like in terms of layers about like dream shit too. It's like there's something here, but I'm not gonna be able to remember enough of this dream to dig it up
I
later.
just try to have a good time. I just have to try to
Go
have
on
a
the
good time
ride,
when I'm in
babe.
there.
You're halfway through a pool, breathing underwater, and you're like, you know what? I don't know what's going on, but I'm already swimming. Might as well.
Yeah, exactly. Might as well just buckle up.
Buckle in, baby. For real. All right. So, okay. So you got drawn. You said you had a goth,
I did.
a big titty goth girlfriend phase.
I did. Yeah, I did.
So did you do any magic spells?
I don't.
Did you set anything on fire?
Well, I've set plenty of things on fire, but I think that's a different conversation.
Okay, so we'll leave that behind us.
We don't have to talk about arson. No, I'm kidding. Please stop. I've not actually ever.
Okay,
This has not actually ever happened.
If anyone in chat goes around saying we set shit on fire, we will know where you came from. And we also know where you're at. Okay, I'm not saying that you're gonna start smelling smoke, but I'm just saying you should be concerned. Okay,
look around, bitch.
Look around, bitch. This is a joke. This is a joke. Dan, Twitch CEO, everything's normal here. Okay, please, I beg you, move on, move along.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, you were saying.
I definitely don't feel like I ever did any like intentional spells. I definitely in the last few years have gotten really, really into manifestation. Because I did not believe in that shit at all. And then I just started doing it because my sister wouldn't leave me alone about it. And I really feel like it does do something now, kind of like willing things obviously things are not always going to go your way. I am the poster child for this. I've been through a lot in the last year, but I think that there are things you can control and try to manifest. And so that's something that I do often. I have done like, do you know about the cup trick, like for timeline leaping and stuff like that? Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, I don't know about this cup trick. Is this like a new thing, or
this is something that's been around for a little while? But I had heard about it from a friend of mine who actually she's the one who got me into tarot like a little bit later in life again when I was pregnant.
Okay.
And it's kind of a way to take yourself out of one reality where you are feeling, maybe you're feeling overly stressed, you're not seeing a good inflow of money, you're, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and kind of put yourself into a new reality, kind of wiping that clean and like refilling your cup essentially.
Okay.
That is something that I do if I'm going through if I'm dealing with like back-to-back like life events. That is something I will do often to kind of reset myself. And it's literally just having two cups.
Like a small ritual, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very small ritual. It's having two cups, one on the left, one on the right. The one on the left is half full, and you kind of hold on to the cup, with intention, say what you're lacking or what you're looking for in life. And then when you're done with that portion of the ritual, you just pour into the other cup. So you're kind of taking from one and filling the other. And that's supposed to be kind of like a reality jump, essentially, or like to help put you in a reality that's more sustainable for you. I have done that a few times, and I feel like I do see changes. Like I see small things that change or that are different, or start to kind of turn around. And so that's been useful for me. But other than that, I've never really like sat down and intentionally done a spell for like a specific purpose. Do you know what I mean? Or anything like that?
I think in terms of the cup situation, that definitely sounds like, I mean, it's
more of a ritual.
Yeah. There's different classifications, and like how things resonate with people obviously changes, right? I think for a lot of people, a spell is like a protection spell, for example, or like doing sigil work or things like that. Whereas a ritual is a little bit more of it's more focused on you and your experience in the moment.
Or
Yeah, for sure. So that's definitely interesting. I don't know if I've heard a lot about that specific, but I've definitely heard of things with cups and making transfers and moving water type stuff.
Anytime I've done any kind of like protection or anything like that, I'm always drawn to water. Water spells always kind of pull me, which is funny because water actually terrifies me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
like
I'm
scared
really
of like
scared
deep
of the
water.
ocean. Terrified. Absolutely terrified. For someone who grew up in Florida on the beach, you wouldn't think. But I hate the water.
It makes sense because I feel like probably you are seeing more of the horrors of the deep than other people.
Oh my god, like people getting bit by sharks every other week.
People do get bit by sharks every week.
There's a certain beach down here in Florida. There's a certain beach down here in Florida called New Smyrna Beach. If you ever come to Florida, just don't. It's dirty anyways, and people get bit there a lot, so just don't.
We sometimes get people coming up to go to the lake and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, we want to go to the big lake." I'm like, "Okay, have fun."
Just don't. But yeah, so water, and I also have like a really intense fear of drowning too. So like water really scares me, but for some reason, I'm always drawn to it when it comes to like anything, kind of ritualistic related.
I think that's a little bit of a Wiccan idea too, like having a particular affinity for a certain element and being drawn to rituals and things that involve that particular element. I think very interesting. I think
I'm an Aries, so like who knows why I'm drawn to water? It makes
what's your other like your like orbit signs and things, like do you know your rising?
My rising is Cancer, which I am very
just hot water.
Yeah, and my moon is Pisces. I'm just really emotional outside of being angry.
A Pisces and a Cancer.
Yeah, I'm very emotional.
Action. You're moving forward. You are ambitious, and
then I'm crying about it. And then I'm crying in the corner. And then when I'm done with that, I'm screaming at you because the Aries side is fully coming out.
Fully on front deck, so ready for action.
Basically, God bless Weasels, who's a Leo. Also, don't know how that works, but it works somehow.
Interesting too.
Two fire signs just fully, but he's like, I don't understand how he's a Leo because he is the most like non-narcissistic, like very sweet, very quiet.
But like sometimes people believe their own hype, but they're just not talking about it.
Maybe, but I don't know. I've known this kid for 16 years. I don't think so.
Is he putting on a fit?
He is the most humble, like sweet, calm. Like seriously, I am the opposite. I don't know how we found each other, but literally, if there was a puzzle piece, it's like it fits. Because we are so different.
I think sometimes too, people grow together. I think Buddy and I have definitely grown together because we've also
for sure.
For a really long time.
For sure.
Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah, maybe he just needs to be awakened. Get him a Porsche and see how much Leo he acts in the Porsche.
There are moments.
He's a Leo moment from time to time.
Yeah, there are moments from time to time. I definitely see it. And I'm like, oh, he's feeling himself. Or, or I'll kind of go full Aries and then he'll bite back a little. And I'm like, oh, where's that been for the last 10 years?
Gentlemen, listen, I don't want you to fight with me. But if I'm fighting with you, I want you to fight.
Yeah. I don't want you to yell at me, but if I yell at you, then you better at least like fight back a little.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm not looking to be wrong. I'm not looking to be right. I'm looking to fight.
I'm looking to argue, bitch. I just want to argue a little.
I love to argue.
Damn.
Buddy is a Libra, and he's also just like he's got a lot of feminine energy. And so he likes to just like be nurturing and helping and have everybody be happy.
Yeah.
So he hates it when I'm pissed off, and he hates it when I'm sad. And sometimes I just want to yell at him.
Yeah,
Poor
I feel
buddy.
you because sometimes I like go off for a second and then I see his face and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm an
I love you
asshole.
and I appreciate you.
That was full blown Aries and I apologize. I will put her away.
Not invalidating myself. I'm still right, but I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings and I will back off. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Exactly.
So, okay. So what sorts of things do you do to like manifest? Do you have like a vision board? Do you journal? I love journaling.
Yeah, I tend to write stuff down because
love
I'm
writing
like I
stuff
said
down.
before, I'm very tactile. Like to me, I have
Mm.
to have that. Like I have to have something written out, kind of put down. Do you know what I mean? For it to feel like it's going to do something or it's really going to
Mhm.
stick. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of one of those people that always feels like a little in tune. And so when I feel like I need something, I'll kind of try to find something that I think is going to work for me. There is like a little magic shop here in Orlando that we've gone to quite a few
Oh
times.
yeah.
And I like to go there. Like if I'm looking, like last time I was looking for a new tarot deck, I was like, I need to go see things, feel things in person. I don't want to buy something online. I don't want to, so
Yeah,
that's
I
kind of,
like to
I'm
touch
always like
stuff that
that.
I'm gonna spend money on.
I need to touch
Yeah.
things, write things down, physically read things to kind of feel like I'm actually making an impact, like making
Yeah,
things
yeah.
change. Yeah, for sure.
You go out and feel it out.
Yeah.
You know what you
Yeah.
gotta get yourself? This is off
Mm,
topic, and I
okay.
apologize, but you gotta
Okay.
get yourself a fountain pen, bitch. Do you have one?
Oh, let me tell you about my obsession with
Ooh.
pens.
Oh,
I
I love
have
pens. I love
I
pens.
have
Oh
2
shit.
big, they're not containers. They're literally like zip up bags that hold like 150 pens each. They have all my gel pens in them for my
Oh,
classes and
the
stuff.
Paper Mate ones.
I
Those
have
clicky
those.
gel pens are so good.
I have a bunch of oh gosh, what are they called? I can't even remember now because
The
I haven't.
Stabler ones, the fine
Yeah,
liner
I
ones
have
are
a
really good.
bunch of them, but I have a lot of like old school gel pens like too, like
Yeah, yeah.
90s gel
The
pens.
glitter ones are
Um,
actually so good. They're
so
so good.
pretty.
Yes,
So pretty. I
bitch.
love pens.
So you don't have a fountain pen?
I do not have a fountain pen.
Let me tell you something, bitch. Okay. Okay. I love to collect pens and I love to collect little pieces of paper and shit. So I
mm.
got me 2 because I have a problem. I got me
Fair.
2 of the TWSBI fountain
2 doesn't
pens.
sound like a problem. 2 is like a very low number.
$40 each.
That's okay. Fine. Treat yourself.
Right? And Buddy got one.
Okay.
It's definitely not for me. It's Buddy's. He takes it to work.
Sure. For sure.
Okay.
Definitely
so
for sure. 100%.
You like, first of all, like the feeling of writing with them, you know how like with a normal pen, with a gel pen, it's like a very like glidey, like it's a great experience. I love a gel pen, but it's
Sure,
like
it's
very
different.
smooth. The fountain pen is because the nib is like metal, you can really like feel the texture of the paper. Excellent moment. And
I
then
like that.
also you
A
can
little
buy
ASMR feel.
a little ASMR moment. The TWSBI one, it's a refillable one.
Oh, nice.
So you like twist the bottom and it has a little plunger, right? So you can like clean it out and then refill it with whatever ink. And I have a special edition Alice in Wonderland ink, and it is a multi-chrome pink
Oh, so
and purple
pretty.
ink with gold glitter in it.
Oh my God. That sounds
Okay.
beautiful.
I spent $15 on a jar of it. That thing's gonna last me the rest of my life. Okay. Filling a pen is like not, it's like 3 milliliters of it. Getting a fountain pen changed my life.
Okay. I will be looking into this experience.
It's
It is
worth
something
it,
I
I
feel
swear.
I have like a thing with like office supplies in general.
Office supplies.
Yeah.
What's the thing TikTokers is girl dinner.
Oh, don't get me started.
I don't know what
eat
girl dinner is, but girl dinner is
I
definitely
eat girl dinner.
78 sticky notes.
It's just random shit. Yeah, it's just random shit.
Oh,
So
like when you just go to the fridge with a plate and you like put a little bit of cheese or whatever on there?
Yeah, for sure. Like the other day, I think I was in your chat. I said I had girl dinner because I had chips and salsa, and I don't remember what the other thing was, but it was very random.
Wait,
So,
if
you
that's
just
girl dinner, then boy dinner is like crawling under the sink and like just eating random shit.
Boy dinner is just like a box of Cheez-Its.
Boy dinner is I made rice yesterday and I'm having it again.
Yeah. Boy dinner. I poured some hot sauce on my popcorn chicken.
Open a can of Chef Boyardee, but don't heat it up. Just eat it out of the can with a spoon. That's boy dinner.
Boy dinner. Gross. They're
Girl
nasty.
dinner is like avocado toast and like an apricot and some grapes. And boy dinner is cold chef.
Cold pizza from 3 days before out of the
My
fridge.
boy dinner is ketchup on bread.
No, God, ew.
No,
oh my God, when I
baby.
was growing
Please,
up, my
I'm
dad
begging you.
used to listen. My dad used to put ketchup and mustard on saltine crackers, and I wanted to die. I wanted to burn the house down. This is where the arson came in.
I don't want to be.
I don't want to be here. I hate it here.
I don't want to bring any vibes in particular, but that's
nasty.
That's
gross.
That's like
I'm sorry.
That's like
if you enjoy that, I'm sorry.
That's the poorest poor person.
And let me tell you something. Let me go on a small rant here, okay? Let me tell you something. And this is not me bragging, bitch, because I don't care, okay?
Okay.
My father came to this country at 18 as an immigrant from Puerto Rico, okay? And he worked his ass off, and he is a very wealthy boy now.
Play the Puerto Rican anthem in the background for this one.
Seriously, and I say this because this man he has millions of dollars. This man still eats ketchup and mustard on saltine crackers and drives a 2007 fucking Toyota Avalon with no door handle. Okay,
we were talking about Asmongold earlier.
He is He is him. He's going to turn into my father.
I've never seen a rich man serve. I will play like he does. He grabs his blankie and his Monster Energy. Yep. Oh my God! I was watching him react to a video, and he was telling a joke about how funny it was that he was putting his drinks in the fridge.
Bitch,
girl,
my father still had a box television until like a year ago. Okay, this man is a millionaire. Okay, I don't get to touch any of it. It's not. I don't get daddy's money, and he should be enjoying it. Enjoy yourself, sir.
Listen, if you're not going to enjoy it, I can help you with that.
Oh my God.
This is the opposite of my dad, because my dad is a broke bitch, but he is like, he's got his stingray shoes and his plaid pants. Mm-hmm. He's very into it. He's always complaining about me too, because I dress like a weird little, have you seen that TikTok when it's like hot wench autumn?
I mean,
dude, that's how I dress. I dress like an old man in 1993.
I just still dress like a little bitch. So
what are they going to do? They're going to fire me? They don't have anybody else.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I work a corporate job, and I go there with my stupid brown hair because I can't dye it any other color.
They won't let you?
No, because I work in healthcare and it's not professional. And I can have natural colors. So what are my options? So I go to work every day with my stupid brown hair and my stupid corporate clothes and my stupid corporate flats.
Hateful.
And you know what I do when I'm not working? I don't wear that shit, bitch. I wear my K-pop earrings and my boots and my fishnets, and y'all can
you better work. I have at least here in small town Ontario, I have a particular superpower. And that is being one of the 12 black people available at any given time. Okay. There are not very many of us, and nobody knows what corporate looks like for hair. So I'm showing up purple and pink and nobody, do your shit. No one has the balls to say fucking shit.
I had a moment when I first started working at the hospital I work for. I have curly hair naturally because I'm
Hispanic baby.
I have very curly hair. Mothmom has seen my hair.
It's very pretty.
You guys?
It's actually extremely pretty.
But so I have very curly hair.
Spend some time on Twitter, maybe you'll find it.
Yes, seriously. You can find them. I'm not that sparing with my face anymore. I've given up on life. I said the world's burning earlier. It's fine. But no, when I first started working there, I would leave my hair curly naturally and whatever. And I got I got pulled into an office, and they were like, they thought I was like doing it.
No.
And so and sometimes I would straighten my hair because I look white. So like, what did white girls do in the 2000s, you guys? They straighten their hair like fucking boards, okay? So sometimes I would straighten my hair. So they called me in and they were like, when your hair is curly, it's not being received well.
Oh,
so if you could leave it how it naturally is.
And people wonder, they're like, oh, why don't you know how to do your curly hair? I wonder fucking why, bitch.
They said, if you can leave it how it naturally is. And I said, it's naturally curly. And they were like, oh, but it was straight yesterday. Because I look white, you think my hair's straight? And then they'd never talk to me about my hair again.
Good. Good. Live in fear. Live in fear for the rest of your life, motherfucker.
I was like,
you want to hear
my
an insane
white
story?
girl straight hair from yesterday took me 2 hours to do. So how about I'm not doing that every day and you can kiss my
Fuck
ass.
that. One time I bought a bus driver wig on Amazon and I wore it to my old job, my fancy old job. And the number of people, I got people tell me, oh, so you going to a wedding? You look fantastic. Oh my God, you look younger, look you prettier. Oh, I love it like this. You should keep it like this forever. Da, 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 da. Until finally I was standing in front of like one of my, it was a very weird job. Okay, you guys, I dealt with a lot of rich people. I had so many compliments and I was so pissed off. And I was standing in front of a manager who still to this day doesn't know what to call me. He doesn't know my name. He doesn't know my name. And we worked together for 5 years. He didn't know my name.
I have someone I've worked with for the last 7 years who still doesn't know my name. So I know it every time he sees me.
But he does. But he also doesn't have the balls to ask me what my name is.
No, of course they don't.
So I just let him burn. Just be like, oh, I'm looking for. I'm not going to make offers. Ask, bitch. You don't know my name? We worked together 5 years. What's my name? Say my name.
Crazy. Insane.
He was like, oh my God, I love your hair. You should wear it like this all the time. And I was like, that's not my hair. This is a fucking wig. And he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah. Did you think I can get it to grow out my head like this? Absolutely not. He never complimented my hair.
That's what I'm saying. They never came to me again about my hair after I was like,
fucking try
I know
me.
I look white, bitch, but I'm not. I hate to break it to you.
Oh my Lord. And
let me call up my 80-year-old Puerto Rican grandmother who still says machine after everything that she owns. Refrigerator machine, telephone machine, because she can't speak English. Then maybe y'all will leave me alone.
My smallest brother, my stepmom is Serbian and my dad's Dominican, so he speaks Spanish as his first language. And as a kid, like they were both speaking different languages to him, and he was going to French school, so he didn't know what anything was called in English. So whenever they didn't notice there was a problem until I came over, because you would just call it in whatever language.
Visual and visuals. That's what they,
So when I came over, I don't speak any of these languages, right? He would just call everything a thingy. He'd be like, this thingy, that thingy. He was calling French fries a thingy. You know what I mean? And so eventually my stepmom turns to me with her like tiny little European hands like ringing, just like, do you think my son can speak English? And I was like, no, ma'am, I do not.
No,
I think he's got a problem.
We need to go get our thingies on to get in the thingy and drive to the thingy. And then when we get there, we'll pick up the thingy.
We got our slippers on in the house, you know, and the air conditioner's off. And you know how it is. Everybody in the garage with the door open for some reason.
Listen, again, my dad has been here for 50 plus years and he still calls every Kool-Aid red drink, even if it's purple. He calls every cookie black cookie, even if it's not an Oreo. It's like, it's a thing. Why? They, you know, and you just learn to be like, right, the cookies. I'll find whatever cookies are in the house. Got it.
And when Buddy met my dad, he was like, your dad has really thick accent. And I was like, no, he fucking don't. He speak perfect English. He's like, I can't understand your dad sometimes, but he gets mad. Like he starts yelling. I was like, my dad's never been mad at you. You would know if my dad was mad at you. He's like, then why is he yelling at me all the time? I was like, oh girl.
That's just an elevated volume. We have to scream over each other. Why do you think we're so loud?
He fucking likes you. That's how you talk to each other. You have to be loud. Otherwise, how people are going to hear what you think?
Yeah, how do you think we got so loud? Listen to us talking over each other for the last hour. This is how we were brought up, okay?
You watch the VOD back and you're like, was I screaming the entire time?
Seriously, at the beginning when you were like the sister I never had, I'm like, bitch, we kind of are the same. Like we are loud. We got the same family problems.
We're lucid dreaming. We both left. We left the church.
Weird ass high school. I don't know.
We went to a weird high school in our dreams. Our boyfriends are invisible.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
We arguing. How is it we both love to argue, but we never argue with each other?
No, because I love you too much.
No, I love you.
It's gonna get sweet now. Oh my goodness.
This explains my mom peaks her. My mic is just oversensitive, okay? She's 6 inches from my mouth. She's got a pop filter on her. What am I supposed to do?
I would say the same thing, except I'm so loud I come through Weasel's mic, so I don't think I could use that as an excuse.
I used to collab with Buddy a lot, and then I noticed that the audio was really bad, and I think the reason is I have no clue.
Yeah, we've somehow worked it out over here, but when I get hyped, you can still hear me.
You know what? It's part of the experience.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So you are sort of like journaling and vibing, but you said you're really into tarot. So how many decks do you have? Be honest.
I have, well, right now I only have 3 active decks.
Oh,
So I have a few that I hold on to, but I don't really use. They were like gifted to me. I'm not like super connected to them, but I have one that was gifted to me by the girl I was talking about earlier who got me back into tarot. And she gifted it to me because it was the first set she'd ever used with me. It was an older set that she had, and she was like, I can part with it. And
cute.
She was like, a lot of times, you know, like if one person is transferring a deck to another, I can help transfer like certain energies to you. So I got that deck from her and kind of learned a little more about it then. I totally shamelessly though still use my book every time I do a reading for myself.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, no matter how many times I've given myself readings, I don't want to misinterpret something or look at something in a way that I'm just trying to make it seem like something I want. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's about you. So it doesn't matter. Whatever's working for you. I don't know why people are so scared to use the book.
Me neither. I always use my book just to like back myself up on what I'm thinking when I'm looking at it. But yeah, so I have that deck. And then the last time I went shopping for decks, because I was really wanting something new, I went to I actually talked about it earlier, this little store near me in Central Florida. And I had picked out a deck online. And I went and grabbed it. And that was, I think I had shown you that one. That was my enchanted deck.
Very pretty.
Yeah, I loved it. When I saw it, I was like, ooh, this is nice. And I kind of was walking around with it. And then I don't know if you've ever been like this when you're in a store, like in one of these stores, but I literally could not keep myself from going back over to the cards. So I went back over there and I found this deck. It's called So Above, As Below. And it's a really, really beautiful deck. I mean, the art is so pretty. And I like immediately went to that deck and I was like, oh shit, like I know I need to take this with me too. So those were the last two I bought and I've been using those primarily. My other one that I have from my friend, I kind of hold on to if I'm feeling like I need more guidance in my reading, like outside of my own. And that's kind of when I'll reach for that one. But I use my As Above, So Below deck probably more than any. It's definitely my favorite one.
I go into the store and I'm like, you got anything weird in here?
No, I have moments like that too. I look for really weird shit on the shelf.
You gotta see what the weird shit is. You gotta figure, you know. So the most recent one I bought is triangular. It doesn't have any pictures on it. It's all words. So it's like a little manifestation deck, but I just wanted it because they were triangles. I was like, that's weird. I have a really pretty one that is like, they're like huge playing cards, but they each have like a different tarot card art on them. So it's missing the major arcana, but they're like all in sort of like, it's like a Mexican style art. Not Day of the Dead theme, but just like very... I don't really know how to describe it. Like lots of bright colors. Yeah. Because I feel like Frida Kahlo is very...
Frida's sad. Frida's sad to me. I'm sorry.
Her stuff, it does have a certain melancholy quality, even though it is very brightly colored.
It still makes me sad. I think it's just because I know her story. That's all. So I just feel sad when I look at it.
You know, I mean, the art and the artist are connected in a certain type of way, you know.
But no, I get you mean like the color.
Sort of like more like folk art feeling. I don't know.
Okay.
I forget the name of it. I have it around here. But there's one deck that I'm constantly reading with, and it's Everyday Tarot. And it's because it's regular card size.
Yeah.
Even though my hands are massive.
I have little hands. I guess. I don't know.
So that's a full size deck that you're shuffling with then.
Yeah, for sure.
And I got this little baby size deck. What is going on with that? But yeah, you got to pick the one that's resonating with you. But to be fair, you did not answer. How many have you got? Like how many have you got though?
Oh, probably over 10. At least over 10.
That's not so bad. That's very bad. That's one shelf maybe.
Yeah, somewhere between 10 and 20. Somewhere between 10 and 20.
That's so reasonable. So reasonable.
I don't think more than that for sure. Yeah.
Murph got baby hands. I think Murph is baby size.
I'm not baby size.
Well, babies are
normal hand. What size shoe do you wear?
Me?
Yeah. What size shoe do you wear?
10.5.
Okay, I wear an 8.5.
Baby size.
I'm not baby size. I feel like that's average.
A little tiny person.
Put me in your pocket and take me to lunch. Put me in your pocket, take me to lunch. Girl, take me to Starbucks, girl. We go get drinks. You put me in your pocket.
Yeah, baby. I'll get you a venti anyway. Matcha for both of us. That's right. No, I think I'm a giant. I think you're normal.
Oh my God, stop.
I think I am though. I'm like 5'10".
I'm only 5'6".
That's normal
Weasel's
size
is
for
smaller
human
than me.
women. Well, Weasel is so special. He's the weasel
Weasel's
in the
a short
front
king.
yard. How is he going to find the news if he can't
Oh my
fit in
God,
all the
bitch.
nooks and crannies?
Bitch, he'd be crawling through all the holes in the
Crawling through
house.
all the holes in the house.
I'm telling you, our whole relationship through high school, he was like exactly boob height, which I'm sure was great for him. But looking back now, I'm like, wow, we were so separate. Like, I was so much taller than him, and I was always in like crazy goth girl shoes, and yeah, and he was just like a sweet little baby ginger holding my hand, just like looking like my little brother or something.
That's adorable. It's like you know that like picture of the little bodybuilder guy, and he's like being interviewed by a tall lady, and he's like,
it's true, it's true. I would go over to his. I'm telling you, I would go over to his house, which was he's from a Irish family, and his grandmother was 4'11". His dad was about 5'4". His grandfather was about 5'4". So I was like a freaking Amazon, and I'm only 5'6". I'd walk over there, and I'm like huge compared to everybody, and I'm like,
This has definitely come up before, but I'm 5'10", and I'm the shortest. So my mom is 6 foot, my dad's 6'5". My little brother, the one who was on stream, is 6'7", and then my small brother, the one who's not allowed to be on stream because he's too young, he has recently started approaching 6'2", and it does not look like he's going to be old enough to drive this year.
Oh my God!
Which means that the second growing is going to hit.
The second is coming.
The second resize is going to, and I don't know where the fuck he's going. But at least the little one plays basketball. None of the rest of us do. Well, my dad.
That's what happened with Weasels, though. Like, he was shorter than me all through high school, even when I had the baby, and then when we hit about 20, he just like popped up, and now we're like right at the same height. He's like maybe like an inch shorter than me. Maybe.
That's a boys. Boys, they got 2.
Yeah. I hit my full growth spurt like in 6th grade. My whole everything. Hello,
third
girl.
grade, I grow big old boobies.
Oh yeah, I had those in elementary school. Yep, it was real fun going into middle school.
Fucking inconvenient, especially if you have a parent whose thoughts about the boobies is that they should be uncontained until you hit like 14 or something.
Honey.
It was brutal, y'all. Life was a struggle. But yeah, and then I grew. Then I hit 15. And I just kept growing, and then I just stopped. And that was it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I haven't gotten any taller since I was like 18.
I think the
or
time
17
will be upon us soon where you will go from getting longer to getting just
it's already happening.
Small. Oh my God.
I feel like I'm getting shorter and chubbier every day.
Yeah,
I'm just going downwards.
You know what? Being milfy is a right. I've earned the right to get milfy in my old age. Okay, so if I shrink a couple inches and my ass gets fatter, who's gonna complain?
I don't have anything to say. If you guys want to judge me and see my face, you can go to my Twitter. And then, you know what? Have your own fucking opinions.
Watch, you're gonna turn that picture on, and you're gonna be like, "I fucked up."
Oh my God!
I came here for the roast, and I got roasted.
Listen, the first time I shared my face on Twitter, I was like, "This might be a really big mistake," and then it went okay, and I was like, "Okay." I was like, "This went okay."
Went okay. It's because you're fucking gorgeous. Stop beating around the bush. What do you mean? Stop?
Oh, I'm sorry. Talk about my complex. I have a real. We don't go there.
Well,
I think I have good hair, and that's about it.
Well, I think your hair is very good. We can agree on that. But like, as a scientist, I measure everything extremely objectively, so you can trust my opinion when I say that you're very pretty.
As a scientist.
Yeah, I'm a scientist. This is my job. Okay.
So when we go on break in a little bit, we're just going to be flirting the entire time. So if you guys were wondering.
How long do we go? Oh, fuck. Do you need a break?
Oh, no, I'm fine. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm good.
Murph is certified beautiful. Agree. Please feel free to leave plentiful compliments for Murph in the chat.
Okay,
always welcome. Yeah.
You're very sweet.
I mean, she's a guest. It's the least we could do.
Oh, my God.
It's the least we could do. It's just to tell facts and truths in chat. Let's have a look. Speaking of chat, I haven't looked at it in a minute. Let's see what's going on. Boundary's talking about how tall everybody is. Boundary says that I'm taller than he is, but I wear bigger shoes. It's because my titties are so fat, I have to have larger feet to balance me out. Y'all, you're laughing. That's facts.
Has to make sure our center of gravity is where it needs to be at all times.
And if I get Gregman, they're going to get even longer, bitch. They're not
Listen,
getting
we
any
can
smaller.
talk offline.
We're not here to talk about the intricacies of pregnancy, but I'll tell you what, the feet do not shrink. Okay.
If you ever do, come find me. Bitch.
Get yourself some.
I'll tell you the horrors.
The horrors.
I'll be your live birth control. Ask me any questions.
Birth control. Don't worry, I don't know if my body's gonna be able to do any of that anyway.
Yeah. Well.
Whoopi's here. Hello there, Whoopi. Murph got baby hands. Murph is baby size. Already established that. Oh. I think that's basically what's going on. I has a whiteboard next to my computer I forgot to use. What were you going to write on the whiteboard, Nuke? Oh, I think because we were talking about
Oops.
So do you do any particular spreads when you read tarot? Or do you just pull them out?
No, I usually just do like a 5-card spread for myself. Every now and then I might do like a past, future, present kind of spread, but usually I just do a 5-card. I get what I need. I'm pretty open with trying to receive help when I'm pulling, so I'm very talkative. I talk out loud to everybody, to all my guys.
Talking out loud is a fundamental part of my reality, to be honest.
So yeah, I feel like it's just here's the thing, and we've talked about this before. I have no inner monologue. So I could think about what I want to say. Yeah, I could think about what I want to say, but I don't feel like it really gets it across. And I don't expect guides to be able to know everything I'm thinking all the time. So I think it's just more, it's just easier to just talk out loud and it's more comfortable too. I think when you start doing it, it feels awkward, but the more you do it, it's like, it feels way more comfortable. And in the end, to just talk out loud and kind of ask for that assistance. And then I'll usually just do a 3 or 5-card spread, depending on like, what kind of question I'm asking or what I'm looking for.
Interesting. Yeah. See, I am constantly talking out loud.
Yeah, me too.
But I also have a very intense inner monologue that does not shut up. So
I don't envy you.
Sometimes what will happen is I will be saying things with my outside mouth, and I will be thinking in complete sentences inside my brain at the same time.
Yeah, no, not me. If it's coming out of my mouth, it's what's also in my head, which is a problem sometimes.
I will rehearse conversations very intensely inside my head, like when I'm going somewhere and I don't want to look insane.
Okay, so I'm crazy and I also do that, but it's out loud. Like I'll literally, while I'm driving somewhere, like I do the same thing, but I can't physically do it in my head.
For me, it's the shower where I'm talking to myself.
Oh my God, bitch, I do that too. Like if I have a meeting coming up or some shit and I'm in the shower, I'm like going
prepare.
Through the whole thing. Yeah. I do the same thing.
Yeah. But then sometimes what happens is, even though like I've prepared myself, I will just sit down and I will just talk shit anyway.
Yeah. It all just dissipates.
I remember it.
Yeah.
But I just don't say that.
You don't think to bring it up. Yeah. Because then the conversation just starts going and like whatever.
Yeah. I've got myself some problems. Oh my God. But yeah, see, for tarot readings, I only do drive-bys for me. For everybody else, I'll do whatever is the moment calls for. I do a lot of 9-card spreads for people, I feel like.
Fair. Yeah.
But for me, I walk past, I pick one up and I go, oh no, put it back down.
I mean, I've definitely had moments like that where I'm like, I'm just going to pull the first thing off the top of my deck and just see what it is, because I'm having a shitty ass day, or I'm having a shitty week and I want to just like get something. I definitely have those moments, but I don't know, for me, tarot became something that was like, a very intentional moment for myself, where I could kind of be like, hey, leave me alone for 10 minutes while I go in the bedroom and kind of like pull for myself and do my thing, and nobody's bothering me. I can have my moment with my guides and kind of feel like connected with that. And so now I think it's become a thing where I kind of have to be seated, going through my whole thing and like getting from top to bottom of my reading, and then kind of like reflecting. And I always take pictures as well, because something may not connect at the beginning, right? And then an hour later, I'm like,
might figure it out. That's interesting. I don't do that. Maybe I should consider that.
I've always done that because most of the time I'm connecting from start to finish. But every now and then, if I don't feel like I connected with something, I'll take a photo, come back to it. And just kind of like, or take a photo, read through my book, maybe read through my book for another deck to get what the opinion is on that card from another deck's perspective, and kind of put 2 and 2 things together. Because sometimes the descriptions you're getting in your books from your decks are completely different. Not completely different, but worded
very
differently.
Interesting. Did you know occult fact time.
Okay.
So the tarot we talked about this before a couple of times, but it was originally like a gambling deck. And then it was reworked in the 30s, so the 20s and 30s, by some guys in the Hermetic Order of Golden Dawn. It's like a whole thing. And so the original, for the Raider White set, the original book, it's available online. It's called The Illustrated Key to the Tarot. And it has descriptions of all of the symbolism, all the cards, all the colors, everything, including some like hidden Hebrew characters and things like that are in there, which connect to the whole Kabbalah situation. So sometimes decks have different imagery on them.
Yeah.
And so sometimes their books will interpret things a little bit differently. But that's like usually, especially if the person who made the deck, I don't want to say that they were doing less work than other folks, but I will say sometimes they are mostly focused on the art or something like that.
Yeah, sometimes it focuses just on the photo, and the photo is not really the main symbolism of the card or the sign that you're receiving. So
sometimes
I definitely think that I don't necessarily do that as much unless I don't feel like I've connected with something. If I feel like I get a pretty good picture from start to finish when I pull, then I'm good. Like I can kind of go with what I see and I'm ready to kind of move on from it. But if I feel like something's off or like maybe something didn't stick right, I'll take a picture and kind of revisit.
Do you ever read oracle cards?
No, I haven't actually.
Yeah, it's a different experience. I don't like it as much. I prefer it to be a little bit more structured. But a lot of people really enjoy oracle decks.
Yeah, I don't know much about them at all, honestly.
They're similar to tarot decks, but instead of following, so the tarot has like a very deep symbolism. And there's also like there's like a journey of the characters in the card. So like if you actually like took each card in order as they're numbered, then you could like follow them along through like a whole story. And then also like each suit is like connected to a specific element and all this kind of stuff. But
interesting.
Yeah. So for example, Pentacles is Earth, right? That kind of thing.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah, and so there's a bunch of correspondences. Do you know about magical correspondences?
A little bit. I don't know much about that either, though.
Basically, there are, but you can look it up. There's a bunch of tables for what symbols connect with different things, right?
Oh,
so like different zodiac signs will connect with different herbs, which will connect with different colors and blah, et cetera, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So the tarot has like it's not so, I guess maybe deep is not the right word. It's just very well established. So it's very structured. Oracle decks are much looser. So it will just be like an individual will come up with a system on their own. All of the art will be individual to that particular deck, and then they'll have their own separate key for interpretation. Usually the symbols, depending on who created the deck, they usually connect with those correspondences a little bit, right? So lions have pretty clear symbolism. Fire has pretty clear symbolism, right? Sure, but the way that the symbols are interacting on the cards is different for each deck. Do you get whereas with tarot, like you said earlier, right? Like it's a very specific answer. With oracle decks, you can
open
have
to interpretation.
Yeah, you can have a little bit more interpretation, and there's also just a wider variety of decks. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller, some of them have more symbolism, some are very minimalist. Yeah.
Right.
So it's just sort of a different system. You know what you might like too? Not to nerd out, is geomancy. If you like structure,
I don't know what that is either.
Geomancy
Tell me.
Yeah, so it's a much older form of divination, and it's very structured. It's very, very specific. So like geomancy, whereas with tarot, you'll pull, for example, the death card, and you'll be like, okay, so maybe that means permanence, or maybe this is about like cycles coming to an end, or thresholds, that kind of stuff. Whereas geomancy will be like, tomorrow at 10 a.m. this is happening.
Oh, it's like super duper specific.
It's very, very specific. Yeah.
Interesting.
So the idea is you draw lots. So you can do it on a piece of paper. It used to be that people would do it with a stick in the sand. You can also roll dice to get numbers. And then you sort of take depending on the length of the lines that you draw, you can connect them into different like graphs is what they're called, so into different shapes almost. There's a framework for all the shapes have the same framework they fit into, but you collect the lines into slightly different patterns, and then you interpret it based on like a specific key.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like the more like, I like things that are very structured. That's just kind of how my personality is. So that tends to work better for me than things that are more like fluid and open.
Yeah, it's on a spectrum. Some people don't like geomancy because they find it to be, they feel like they're doing math rather than connecting to something.
I can understand that.
Yeah. Whereas with Oracle decks, it's very much about like you're having your moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And pendulums can be like that too. And tarot's sort of there in the middle. Like there is a very specific symbolism, but sometimes it feels more like a conversation.
Right.
Yeah, okay, sorry for going on a whole TED Talk.
Oh no, you're fine. What are you talking about, girl?
Yeah, but yeah. Okay, so you've very much stuck to tarot.
Yeah, that's kind of become the main way for me to connect, like on a just like on a normal, I wouldn't say daily basis, but like weekly basis. Otherwise, I just kind of keep myself open anyways, and I just kind of keep myself open to everything around me.
Do you feel like you receive omens just like out and about in the world?
It's so funny because you sent me the kind of overlay for today.
I
was
sent the
looking through some of
questions, baby. I was
Yeah.
prepared.
Yeah, and I was looking through them and it hit me actually. There's one thing I get all the time, and I've mentioned this on my stream before, and I think I've talked to you about it before, but I see my birthday all the time, 331. I see it constantly. It's all over the
Threes?
freaking place. 331 or 131. I see those two numbers everywhere, bitch. 131 I've seen for years. 331 I started seeing after my brother passed away. So that one I feel like is more connected to him. But those are two things that I kind of really look out for. They tend to pop out for me when I need to pay attention to something, or I'll start to see it a shit ton, and then something will happen. It's kind of like almost like a little warning. The 131, 331 is more of like how I see my brother in my dreams. It's just him being. I sense that it's more of him just being like, "Hey, I'm here," kind of thing.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
so you feel like you have specific connections to those two numbers that mean a specific thing.
I do. But I was just talking to Weasels today because as I was reading through your questions and you said omen, my brain immediately went to, so you guys probably don't know this, maybe my chat does if anybody's in here, but I'm going through a major life event right now with my with one of my family members. And when this occurred, it occurred on a Saturday, and the Friday evening that I came home, there was a murder of crows in my front yard. Ooh. And I didn't think anything of it because we have crows around here.
Sure.
And it literally did not hit me until I read your questions, and I was like, oh bitch, I literally saw that the evening that I received a phone call that we were going through all of this.
Very interesting.
And so I do think I've had other experiences like that in my life where I've definitely had little warnings, and I'm terrible about, I try to keep myself so open, and I still it's still so easy sometimes to miss things, But yeah, I definitely feel like I've experienced stuff like that before where I kind of get like a little hint or a little something that I'll look back and realize, like, how did I miss that? How did I not think like, oh shit, there's 7 crows in my front yard? That's not weird at all.
I mean, to be honest, like sometimes somebody will like look me in the eyes and be like, today is going to be a difficult day. And I'll be like, what are they talking about? And then I'll go to bed and be like, damn, today was rough. What's up with that?
Yeah. It's like you don't realize it until afterwards. Then you're looking back and you're like, bitch, I had warning signs literally everywhere to not do this or not go to this place or not interact with this person. And I still did, and look where I am. So I definitely think those things are around us, but I think if you're not really paying attention, Snick is really paying attention.
Hello, Snickers. We hear you, bitch.
She's like, I went to go chase those crows, bitch. Get out of my yard.
If you have a Snickers email, make sure to drop in a chat for Snickers.
Oh my god. Hold on, let me drop this little. But yeah, I think it's easy to miss that stuff,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me pick up on a couple of things in chat. People talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes, I promise one day we'll do the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tarot reading stream. There's one specific problem with using the Yu-Gi-Oh! cards. There's too many of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do to narrow it down.
You'll have to literally map them. You'll have to pick.
Oh my god.
You have to pick and map them.
And then Boundary says that I think there is in fact a game called Geomancy as well. But I think it's an older board game. But exactly what's going on with it, I'm not sure.
I was gonna say, what in the Jumanji is this shit?
What in the Jumanji is this shit?
You're doing geomancy and everything changes. You're like, bitch, where's Robin
What
Williams?
happened? And then Manake said me with 511 numbers.
Yeah, numbers, man.
So here's a question then. Do you do any numerology stuff?
No. Here's the thing, like
Mhm.
numbers were not always a thing for me. I think that 131 is something I noticed. Again, I'm telling you, when I got pregnant, I don't know what happens in that moment. I can't tell you guys. But that started happening for me when I was pregnant. And it was very prevalent. I had looked up like angel numbers and you know, that's kind of what I had attributed it to for a while because I didn't know much about it. And I would see it every now and then, and it was kind of like I'd see it and something would happen and I'd be like, okay, what the fuck? And then when my brother passed, I started seeing 331. It was almost like I knew immediately what it meant. It's very strange to say that out loud, but it's almost like I looked at it and immediately knew what that was.
Well, you're noticing it because it resonates with you. Like the reason it's jumping out to you is because there's already something in your brain that it's connecting to, I think.
Right. And when I think one of the last things I went through with him too before he passed was we played WoW together and he had bought me like an annual subscription for my birthday. Oh. And that was like a thing I had thought about because not to get like too deep for you guys, but when I went back to play that game, I was like, I can't log in and see him, right? So it was kind of like he had bought me the annual subscription and then I never played again. Oh. And so I kind of attributed that to like, he's telling, like, you know, like he's hitting on that date because I do think about that after the fact. And so it kind of resonated with me and I was like, okay, I feel like I know what this is when I see it. And now it's kind of a joke. Like if I see it 7 times in a day, I'm like, bitch, I know. Like,
I see you. Well, yeah. I mean, what could we say?
Well, he's yelling at me because he's like, stop fucking talking out loud. And I'm like, okay.
Well, this is what I was going to say, you guys. Here's the brother connection so far. FaceTiming him all day, talking to him all day. And then he'll be like, hey, I just have something. No.
And I'm like, bitch, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. And then he's like, okay, you've literally been calling me all day. Like, so, you know, I've had that stuff and I think those have resonated with me, but I've never gotten into numerology too much. A little bit when I looked into like my, I tried to look into like my star map and stuff like that for a while and some of that's involved, but that shit was in depth.
You know, the astrology
like
people,
star charts are
yes. Well, because we can track, and we've been able to do this for a really long time, right? Just be able to track everything all the stars are doing, and it is kind of fun and interesting. But I feel like to a certain point, like how detailed of a calculation do you really think you're going to be able to do?
Yeah, I'm not an astrologer.
Yeah, I'm not astrology. Okay. I'll be real with you guys, okay? Astrology annoys me because you can do all the math in the world and the answers it gives you are still kind of vague. And that's fine. It's true. But if I'm going to have fun, then I might as well do zero work.
I use astrological signs just to figure out how to vibe with people. That's literally it.
Sometimes there you have it. And I feel like numerology also, I feel like sometimes you just drill and drill and drill. And like, I don't know. I don't know if it ever resonates with me that deeply.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I feel like a lot of my, like, if I really think about the experiences I've had or the things that I've noticed, it's always just things that are more personal resonation for me. I don't think I've ever been that person who's like seeing things for other people or seeing things for, you know, the future of people around me or some, like, I'm not getting that. I feel like what I get is personal connection. I try to keep myself open, but I don't think I'm open enough. So I think just the people that are very close to me that I've lost are able to kind of get through. And so a lot of the things that I notice, like the numbers that I notice and things like that, I think feel like they're directly connected to those things. I think when I was younger and stupid and was like making Ouija boards with my friends and trying to connect with like anything I could, I was probably talking to things I should not have been.
And they're all pretty boring, honestly. I mean, dude, listen, I've called up some pretty whack shit, and usually they're just like, I'm busy eating grapes.
Yeah, I think I definitely had like one experience that was really fucking, really kind of put me in. I got pretty scared. And then everything else, I'm like you, was just kind of like it's just kind of like I have places to be. Like I have things to do. Like, you know. But yeah, I remember being in high school and having a pretty scary experience with a very good friend of mine. Yeah,
well, you and your friend were both safe.
We were fine, but I remember having a moment after that where I was like, "Oh shit, maybe I don't want to be, maybe I don't want to be fucking with this. Like, maybe we shouldn't be just making fucking Ouija boards and looking up online how to like activate shit because we didn't know what we were doing. We were like 16 years old.
Yes, yes. I would say the first and most important thing is always to protect your mental health.
Yeah, for sure.
And the second and most important thing is not to invite anything in your house that you don't want to stay overnight.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know I prepared a bunch of questions, but I think we went through basic. Oh, I was going to ask if there was any like magical stuff that you were interested in that you're not into right now.
I don't know. I think I haven't like delved as far in as I definitely want to. I think that I think the last like year I unfortunately like pulled away a little bit from tarot like the way I used to be because I've just been dealing with so much like IRL shit that I feel like there's nothing you can tell me that I don't already know, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So like there is, but I don't want to know it, Mothmom.
I was just going to say like maybe there's also like a lack of alone time.
Listen, it's been a fucking year, bro, and it's only August, okay?
Can we get some hearts in chat for Murph, please?
It's been a year, bitch. So it's just like, I feel like I pulled away a lot from it in the last like year, and now I've started to kind of come back around to it. But I think there's a lot more that I'd like to learn about, like just the occult side of things. Because I don't think that's something I've ever really like dived into. Do you know what I'm saying? I've kind of surfaced. I've snorkeled. I have not done a full dive.
Well, you know where to find me.
I do know where to find you. I creep on your Tumblr all the time and see the little witchy things you post, and I'm like, this is so cool. What the fuck is this? So I definitely think I want to get into it a little bit more.
Interestingly enough, a lot of occult. Okay, so like if we're looking at the timeline, right? Yeah. We have like ancient shit. Right.
Yeah.
It's very, very far, like very much in a pagan moment. We've got our Plato Aristotle moment. And then what ends up happening is that like the Western occultism movement gets sort of filtered through Catholicism as Christians are trying to explore the truths of the world, but through a biblical perspective, because that's the only perspective that anybody's allowed to.
Yeah, we talked about that right when we started today.
So like, and like, I don't know. Obviously, it was a much more all-consuming sort of moment where, like, very much the Bible is the center of everything, and all the truth is supposed to come from there. And so they start borrowing from Jewish mysticism, which has a lot to do with taking the first 5 books of the Torah, which are also the first 5 books of Genesis, the Old Testament, right?
Right.
And starting to sort of literally letter by letter. The Jewish mystics are crazy, like literally letter by letter, taking things apart to try to examine the fabric of the universe through that perspective. And so if you look at a lot of esoteric concepts, they're very much rooted in a Christian Catholic perspective.
Right.
Yeah, which is really interesting. So you might find more familiarity there than you expect.
I probably would, to be quite honest with you.
Maybe I'll send you something later.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, don't tell my lawyer.
I don't talk to lawyers, bitch. I don't talk to
Very cool. Well, I'm going to get set up now. Probably you would think if I was like a well-prepared streamer that had everything under control, this would have been done ahead of time, but I need to open a thing, get it ready to go to do a tarot reading for you. Do you have any questions for me, actually?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm excited to do the reading and kind of see what kind of spread are you thinking you want to do?
I was going to do a 5-card spread for you.
Okay. No, I'm excited. I don't even want to like ask questions. I kind of just want to see
where we end up.
Yeah. I just want to see where it goes.
Excellent. Do you have any like more general questions for me? Like not necessarily reading questions, but just like.
No, bitch, just send me all your spooky shit because I just want to. I want to listen. I need to start turning some shit around in my life. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
Listen,
there's just been so much going on. I just need more protection. I feel like, and I need more like. I don't know. I need protection for sure.
You know, not to be that person. You know, not to be that auntie, but I will say that sometimes. The answer is, you know, I think sometimes what is great about, like we talked about this earlier, actually, like what's great about magic and spiritualism and, you know, even like something more specific like Wicca, is that it's very focused on you. And sometimes
Right.
when you're having a lot of moments in your life where you need to spend a lot of your energy with someone else, it can create a void in like taking care of who's taking care of you, right?
Yeah.
And we have a lot of folks in your life who need a lot of your attention, and you're not spending as much time paying attention to yourself. It can feel like, oh, I need
Yeah, for sure.
something. But sometimes the best thing is to turn off your phone, lock all of your doors, and have a bath.
Yeah, listen, we were having a big girl conversation before stream started because Mothmom loves me and wants to make me feel better. And we were
I
talking about
know.
a lot of this, and I think you are right. I think like I've always kind of been that person like in my life and in the life of my friends and family where I'm kind of like, even when I was like 14, 13, I'm like literally everybody's mom. And I think now at 31, that's caught up to me. I'm tired. You know, it definitely is like I can feel that my energy is just like a lot different than it was a year ago. And I know that it's not really my doing. It's kind of just everything else around me.
Yeah. And it's not even like I relate to this very much.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
There are a lot of people like, you know what is a good example is I've been very wrapped up in school and stuff. And I love my friends so much. They're really excellent. They're so helpful. They're so positive.
Yeah,
and they
sure.
reach out often, right? They're communicative. Like it's all really great, but they're not always good at planning like larger things.
Yeah, I get that.
And so sometimes I feel like, oh, we don't do as much big stuff. Maybe the reason is because I'm not asking
You're not doing it.
what day they're available.
Yeah.
Which
and
not
you
everybody
notice
needs to
those
be the
things,
planner
though.
either. Right. So
Yeah.
like it's not even shade on them because obviously it's not their fault. Everything's cool. But it just sometimes it's like I can't be the one that's I'm tired.
It's a lot. You endure a lot unintentionally sometimes, I think. And like I definitely had a moment where I was like staying the night with my mom, sleeping in her bed with her to make sure she turned off her iPad and went to sleep. And I'm like, what is happening right now? Like I'm literally mothering her. She's 65 years old.
Well,
But at the same time, it's like you feel like you and I don't, but you feel like you owe people things. So you kind of give your energy out, not intentionally thinking about what you're not leaving yourself. And so I'm filling their cup, but just completely emptying mine. And so I think that definitely affected my energy. And luckily not my relationships, because my only real strong relationships that I hold on to are in my home with my son and my husband. So I'm very lucky to have them. You know, but it is hard. You definitely notice like a difference when I can't have the energy I need to manifest the things I want and to put it back into what I need to be putting out for myself. I definitely feel like the universe feels that and is kind of just like, all right, bitch, well, this is, you know, you're kind of getting what you get then. Like you're going to make yourself tired. You're going to deal with this. This is kind of how it's going to go today.
Yeah.
So I do feel like I have to kind of flip that on my own to kind of put that out that I'm done doing this. I'm done being tired. I'm done giving everybody else my energy. I need to take it back.
Super hard though.
It's really hard. It's very hard.
It is, especially like with people that you love and appreciate and who are like dealing with shit too, you know. I hear you. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm way too empathetic. I've always been that person. Like I can't, that's why, you know, I joked around earlier about weasels being my news filter, but I can't really watch the news. I get very emotional. I can't. I'm too empathetic.
Girl, this is
I feel everything.
This is also like just a millennial problem. It's like I can't.
It's true.
I can't fix
think
all of this. This is too much for me.
We've been conditioned to feel everything so hard because we've gone through so many life experiences in such a short period of time.
Being a kid in the millennium, there was a lot of like, you need to save the planet. I can't.
Fucking crazy.
This is your fault.
Fucking okay. Yeah, like how did I become fucking Captain Planet?
Okay.
Where's my ring?
Yeah. So if you don't get that reference, I'm going to need you I'm just tapping the sign that says 18 plus, but I know that that's not enough. Saw a comic today.
I'm just that was
I was telling Buddy I saw a comic today and it was like a person labeled with a little zoomer sign on them and they were looking at the Skibbity toilet. don't really know what the skibbity toilet is, but they were looking at it and they were just like,
Okay.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And it was like, that time has come, Zoomers.
Listen,
There are memes you don't understand either, huh?
They're not going to get it.
No.
I tested the whole Zoomer. How do they hold a phone up to their face thing with their hand?
What?
With Bob? Have you heard this? So if someone tells you to pretend that you're talking on the phone with your hand, you put your thumb and your pinky out, right? And you
Oh, yeah, and hold it up to
your
my
face.
head.
Yeah, my son puts his flat hand up to his face because he's never had a flip phone, honey.
This is serving very, what does rewind mean?
Listen, I saw it on TikTok and I was like, no way, that's not a thing. And so I was like, Bob, if I was to tell you to pretend you're talking on the phone, what would you do? And he just put his whole ass palm up to his face. And I was like, I hate it here. Get me out. Get me out.
I'm upset.
Get me out.
I'm in this picture and I don't like it.
Listen.
Oh, God. All right,
Yeah.
here, let me bring some decks for you. Oh, actually, you'll be a little bit delayed. Ooh, I think I need to move these arrows behind them. There we go. Okay, so when you see them, I have a bunch of decks for you here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a regular card deck. This is
Okay.
exactly what it looks like. That's an Uno deck. And then I think the rest of all these should all be tarot decks.
Okay, if I'm gonna be totally honest with you,
Yes.
the black cats up there.
Everybody
immediately
with the
my brain-
Halloween deck. This is a real deck you can get in real life.
Halloween's my favorite day of the whole year.
I mean, I
love it
saw the
so
Spirit
much.
Halloween the other day.
What the fuck?
Mhm.
What the fuck? We'll talk. I love Halloween so much.
It's Halloween
love it
Eve.
so
Spirit
much.
Halloween up. I don't think they're
Listen.
open, but their sign is up.
I mean, I live in Florida. They've probably been open for the last month and a half.
Hey, it's Weasel!
He's here.
I'm going to shout out Weasels.
Oh, look, and he's orange, just like the deck I picked.
He's orange.
Oh my god.
Serendipitous, huh? Here's Serendipitous bringing her head around.
Meanwhile, Nuke's just like nut.
Nuke's got a nut, you know.
Sometimes when you see weasels, you just can't contain yourself.
You can't contain yourself.
What are you gonna do?
My new goal is to bring true Leo energy out of Ron. So,
Oh boy.
yeah.
Oh boy. Stop being so humble.
Ron Shrimp Zone has been reactivated, okay?
Oh my god.
Now we're all just hyping up Ron until we can truly
just
see
say-
the true Ron Leo experience.
I have told Ron how cute he is for years. Okay.
Mm,
I love a ginger. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, I'll tell Ron what I told you. I'm a scientist.
Go,
I only tell objective truth facts.
listen.
So
I've been telling him for years how cute he is. Now he's got this long ass ginger hair and it's so
Mhm.
pretty. And I'm like, boy,
long.
it's longer than mine. It's like super long.
Oh.
He's growing it out to donate it, so it won't be there forever. But it's
it's
very long. It's like literally past his shoulders. It's super long. Now. But I tell him all the time how cute he is, and then he doesn't say anything, and then he comes on stream, and my whole damn chat spends my entire 5-hour stream flirting with my husband. And I'm like, I told you how cute you are, and they like you better than me. And it's
That's
fine.
not
I've learned to live with
true.
it.
We
He's
like
just
you
easier to
both
digest.
equally.
Yeah, it's a little harder to put.
I
to put me down,
communicate
you know?
to Murph in two ways. One is by spending all my channel points all at once. And the
yes.
other way is by going, Murph, I have something to tell you. Murph, I have something to tell you.
I
Did
will
you
drop
see?
my whole stream is the problem. If MrsMothmom comes in, she's like, I got something to tell you. I'm like, do I need to end my stream?
What's
I'm
going
out.
on?
Like, what do I need to do? I always have time.
But it was funny. The tables had turned yesterday because I came in and you were like, Mom, I have something to tell you.
I contemplated straight up killing myself in that game. I was like, what's the
was
easiest
like,
way I could die? I could just jump off this cliff right now.
I had to take one I had to be like, Murph, you need to win for us.
I know.
You need to do
I was
it
like,
for us.
oopsie doopsie.
And
I'll
I
just
could
kill myself so I can show you drunk
You
cook.
said that, and Ron was like, why would you do that?
Oops, I died. Oh, no.
Why would you do that? There's only 12 people left.
Oopsie. And then I died with 7 people, and I'm like, you got this. He's like, there's 7 people. There's 3 teams against me. And I was like, you're fine.
You're fine.
Hoping you'll just die so I can show you the
Oh my God. Purple hair divs. Look at us. We actually
at
do
us.
match incredibly.
I've always kind of thought that when we do our little promos and stuff, I'm like, look at us.
We look
at us
so
matching.
fucking good together, actually.
We're cute. It's fine.
Pog.
The most pog.
Okay. All right. Are you ready?
I'm sure. Yeah, let's go.
You ready? Do you want me to just start pulling them?
Yeah, let's just go for it.
Okay. We'll do
Less thought. We'll just go.
Let's freaking
Because if you and I do anything, we, I think, overthink everything.
Oh, bitch.
Oh, baby, do we?
Me overthinking? Absolutely not.
As we send each other like novels of our ideas. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a whole. Don't. What did we say? You got to wait till the end of the stream if you want more tea. Okay.
Oh, I'm excited.
All right, so let's see. We're going to start at the bottom. So 5-card horseshoe. For anybody in chat who's not familiar, these are tarot cards. We're going to go up the hill. We're going to be at the top of the hill. Then we're going to come down the hill, right? So we'll look at each card in order. I'll give you a brief summary of what each card means in order, and then we will go over the whole skinamarink.
Beautiful.
Yes. All right, let's do this.
Let's go.
Okay. Beep. The 6 of Wands, 6 of Imps. So we are maybe building a little bit of a wall. We're maybe, coming up against a little bit of a barrier. We're less so that the barrier is already there and more so that we are constructing a little bit of a barrier. So it's kind of interesting.
Okay.
The 2 of Pentacles, about balance, balancing life, balancing work, balancing service, balancing
literally our entire conversation.
We're not projecting anything. I'm not projecting
at all.
We projected the end. So the balance. Okay, here at the peak. Okay, the King of Cups. The King of Cups about, Cups is a suit about generosity. It's about giving. It's about being open. But the King of Cups is also about management. It's a little bit about strategy. It's about knowing when to release and when to retain without being stingy, without demanding too much. The warning, I think, with the King of Cups being don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right. And so next we have the 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups about a little...
Sorry. Go ahead.
We are being very normal about it. The 7 of Cups about maybe a little bit of overwhelm. Lots of choices. Lots of directions. No clear
reason for my immediate laugh.
Clear answers. Having to contemplate and the concern being getting a little stuck. Thinking about what the next move is going to be. And the last one, it's the Queen of Cups. It's about...
I'm going to go now. I feel fucking targeted. Okay.
Targeted? No.
That's okay.
Generosity, the cup is overfloweth. It's very much giving of yourself, giving everything you've got, baby. Maybe giving too much of what you've got. But it's fun because in this version, because it's Halloween, she's the mermaid.
Great. She's got a tail. We love it.
Okay.
Oh.
So maybe there was a moment where you sort of had to barricade yourself in. And you were spending a lot of time trying to balance the internal tension and the external demands, and are possibly coming up on a moment where you're trying to give just enough and not too much without compromising empathy and sympathy and generosity for important people in your life. Yeah. And that's maybe taking us to a place with a lot of different roads to go down, which are taking us to different places. Maybe it's not exactly clear where we're going. And, you know, the potential of ending up in a place where it is all for the others around us and not for...
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just funny. You don't have to say sorry. It's funny because I mean, I don't know what I was expecting.
I thought maybe we would have a little mystery. I was like, it's possible we'll get somebody to not
So
really.
here's the thing. When I pull for myself and I get my guides involved, like they're very literal with me. And I think that's because that's how I receive well. And so that's why I literally started laughing at the 7 because I'm like, I know. That's not what I need you to tell me. I already know, but maybe it is. I don't know. It's like I know it, but I think maybe it's that I need somebody else to kind of put it in my face.
You are doing so good. Have I told you that?
I love you. She's looking at my spread and she's like, wow, this bitch really is tired. She was not lying when she told me she was tired.
Thought about going on vacation?
No. I don't have to. I don't feel like I ever have time. But this is the thing. I mean, like, it's so funny because we had this whole conversation before stream and she's like, how you doing, bitch? And I'm like, I'm tired. And now I'm looking at the spread and I'm like, I'm tired. Like it's pretty evident. But I think that, like, realistically seeing it is kind of a I feel like someone kind of smacking me in the face a little.
Let me know what address to send the fruit arrangement
Fuck
to.
off, bitch. It better be dipped in chocolate or I don't want that shit.
It will be, but it'll all be cantaloupe.
Fuck off. I don't want cantaloupe. At least give me pineapple. Fucking send me backwards.
So if you're in chat and you're thinking, what's going on? I think we have experienced what the experienced folks in the business would call a call out post.
Yeah, this is basically my guides being like, stop asking us what you need because you know that you're burning yourself out and you need to get your shit together. Turn your energy around and you need to stop giving so much.
But think of the positive side. It means you've been super productive.
I have been. This is very true.
That's really that's a lot of shit getting done.
Getting shit done, but nothing for me. Just no shit for me.
You can't see me, but I've got my fingers in a little X in front of my face.
This is I needed this though now because my classes are starting again this week. I got to get my shit back together.
School's a nightmare, dog.
Yeah, school's a fucking nightmare.
I used to love school. What happened to me?
When I first started, I was like, look at my gel pens and my special note paper that I can upload and send to my teachers, even though they don't give a shit. And now I'm like, if I have to write one more paper, I'm going to actually jump out of a 4-story window. But I need that piece of paper to make money, so that's a different story.
I also need a piece of paper.
I know, girl. We got to get that paper so we can get our bag, okay?
I need the bag so bad. I just want a little bag.
Guys, just help us get the bag together and we will share it with each other.
Yeah, so what I would recommend that you guys do is that you immediately, are you listening? Immediately. I want you to copy the URL in the top of your address bar, and I want you to go to all your friends and family, DM them right now, and be like, I need you to see this, okay? And then when they get here, just be like, $5 a month, baby, you can subscribe.
Oh my God.
And what we would do is if everyone's mom and dad subscribes to me and to Murph, we will have enough to get sushi next week.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Twitch.
Beautiful. Sounds like a great plan.
This is don't call your dad. It's okay.
Oh, I was going to say, you might want to call your mom too, because I need a flight to Canada. I got to get up there, bitch.
Listen, if I would underground railroad you into my house again. I mean, I know that's not necessarily all.
She's looking at the spread and she's like, this bitch needs a vacation. Let me get you up here, please.
I mean, it is cold, but conversely, it's a lot less wet.
Hey, I actually love the cold, to be fair.
Hey, we got 31
years. I would love to be frozen inside of a house for 3 weeks versus like sweating every time I breathe outside my door.
It has been getting worse. Just full disclosure.
Well, listen,
global warming sometimes means you get way more snow than you were supposed to, and you have to dig your door out.
I'm like not annoyed by this poll, but I'm also like in my head being like, you bitches, I already knew this.
It does really serve. Were you here for the Witch Talk reaction stream? And there was that one girl who was like, hey, I'm just doing this. I'm just pulling these cards because I've been having a really tough time. Things have been really hurting. And she like pulls a card and the deck is like, yeah, things are really hurting. Things are really difficult. And she's like, yeah. And I'm just wondering how to deal with it. It's like, yeah, very difficult. Lots of struggle, lots of choices.
Literally.
Like,
literally.
Okay.
This is what happened.
I can get this from Dr. Phil. I don't need you for this.
I feel like no guide showed up with my brother and he was like, get your shit together, bitch.
My God.
He's like, get it together.
To be fair,
no,
maybe your shit is too together.
I think, honestly, they knew that I needed it to be in my face in front of everyone watching your stream. Because I'm bad at admitting to myself that I need to conserve my own shit for me and not for everybody else all the time.
Bless. Well,
so they knew I needed to be called out in front of other people.
Glad that I could be of service.
Yeah, because they're like, didn't you tell this bitch like 3 weeks ago that you were going to start taking 3 days off a week and now you're streaming every day? And I'm like, don't.
Well, you know,
they're using you.
We'll talk about that later.
They're using you. They're like, she knows. And look at you. You're still sitting in here.
This is possible.
No, I needed it. It's not, listen, the realistic part of doing shit like this, you guys, is that sometimes you're just going to get a bit of a call out.
A little bit.
Sometimes they're just going to be like, listen, it's you. You gotta get your shit together. Yeah. And so that's kind of what happened. And that's okay.
I mean, sometimes
I needed it.
I'm walking around my house be like, isn't there something I'm supposed to do? And I can see my cat licking the carpet. It's like, oh, yeah, I got to vacuum.
Right.
That's the moment, That's the moment. Well, Murph, this has been a beautiful time.
Throw me in the cauldron. Crawl my way out.
No, this has been so great. You know what? I appreciate you so much. I feel like, chat, just full disclosure, I don't think future episodes are going to be this, chill. It's always such a pleasure to have you here and to chit chat with you because I feel like we're just gabbing. Because that's exactly what's going on.
I could literally just talk to you for hours. I don't know. We connected before stream and talked the entire time and then went right into it in here. But I think that's just...
And we were literally in your Discord server before.
I know.
You're just Korean food.
You're a little twin flame for me. We just get along so well.
Oh my God, twin flame because we candles
Look
on Friday.
Us.
Oh my God. And we're also purple.
We are also purple.
We both have a little thing on our head that goes beep, 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 beep.
I love that Boundary goes, this wasn't chaotic. For us, no, this was pretty chill.
Oh, for us? This is very put together. Was it chaotic for y'all?
Probably.